Wolves of Wind, Book 1, Feathers. Chapter 6, Ambush. Rain leapt into the air, catching the pheasant swiftly in her jaws. She flew back to the ground, expecting to see Bold's proud face staring up at her. But for some reason, Bold wasn't there. Bold? Bold, where are you? Rain was starting to get concerned after she searched for quite some time. She dug a small hole and dropped her pheasant in it so that she could come back after she found Bold and they could carry it back to camp together. Rain saw footprints and followed them. She knew they were Bold's. Bold, is this some kind of joke? Rain asked as she saw the paw prints turn bloody. Rain smelled wolf blood. She ran faster, aware that they still did have a murderer on the loose. Rain skidded to a halt as she saw a bloody gray and brown shape. Bold! Rain ran over to him and nudged his pelt. She could tell he was breathing faintly. Bold, are you okay? She whimpered. Black wolf, he stammered. Then his eyes glazed over. Black wolf? It must have been Ebony. Grass had said it was her. Why hadn't she listened? Rain nuzzled her father's body. She had to carry him back. Rain lifted him by the scruff and flew into the air. The camp was nearby, and she saw wolves flying above the forest. The high flyers saw Rain and flew towards her. Rain looked closer and saw that they were blue and copper. Oh, my dog! Who did this? Copper asked in terror as she got close enough to see the body. I don't know. He was alive when I found him. He said something about a black wolf, though. Blue's mind seemed to be going to the same place as Rain's as he lifted Bold and took off towards camp. Ebony had been called out by Grass when Rain's brother Don died, so Ebony was the obvious killer. Copper helped Rain get back to the camp. She had lost her father, her mentor. It was all too much. What happened out there? Pine asked as Copper and Blue lay Bold's bloody, tattered body on the grass. Wolves clouded around the body, trying to get a better look. Rain was not looking at her father. She was looking at Ebony. Many wolves were glaring at Ebony, and she seemed to notice because her ears flattened and she began sneaking away from the camp. Get her, Pine called, noticing her trying to run away. His ears were flattened and his big fangs shimmered with anger. Ebony tried to take to the skies, but Silver's white pelt flashed in the sunlight as she leapt onto Ebony, snarling and snapping. Grass looked away, seemingly hiding his face. A tooth showed on the side of his mouth, and Rain assumed he was snarling, most likely because he had been right all along. Pine flew down to the moon rock and stood in front of Rain. How had this even happened? How had she lost her mentor? Why did he leave? Did you see any evidence it was Ebony? He asked, still snarling from the attack. Yes, when I found Bold he was alive. He said something about a black wolf. It must have been Ebony. Pine snarled and turned to Ebony. Kill her, he snarled loudly. Rain was shocked as wolves tried to pile onto her. Pine had always been kind to his pack, although Ebony didn't deserve life. She was a murderer. Ebony shrieked and pleaded, but somehow managed to shake off the wolves and bolt into the air. She flew away, with many wolves chasing after her, but one of them grabbed her and dragged her down. What's going on? Forrest asked as she exited the nursery. Bold! She screeched, running over to where the bloody corpse lay. Help! Ebony screamed as one of the wolves bit her wing and tugged hard, clearly trying to break it. Suddenly, a huge roar split the battle, giving Ebony time to fly away towards Riverpack's territory. The alpha snarled and turned to look at who interrupted the slaughter. Rain turned as well, and to her surprise, she saw the albino wolf from before staring up at them with rage-filled eyes. Get her! Pine screamed as the blood-soaked wolves flew after her. But suddenly, the albino wolf turned to face her enemies. She spread her crimson wings, and in the sunlight they shone glimmering purple. She let out a screech that sounded like a rabbit's death cry, and suddenly the sky split behind her, showing a black void and shimmering stars sprinkled through the darkness. Night had fallen on the camp. The wolves stopped and stared at the bright starry sky. As suddenly as they had turned, a new voice joined in the screeching. A white wolf with bright blue eyes flew out of the void as it closed. Something about the wolf seemed familiar. Suddenly it clicked. It was the wolf that had shown her a prophecy when Dawn had